everyone, this is Amor and welcome back to our YouTube channel. So for today's vlog, we're going to talk about materials development in second language acquisition. So we are going to delve into developing or choosing a material that is appropriate for the second language learning. But do take note that there are 6 principles and procedures that we need to consider in developing a material. Developing a material isn't just simply choosing a material and teach it to the learners. As an effective teachers, we need to consider the needs and wants of the learners as well as their learning competencies. That is why we have the principles and procedures in materials development to properly guide us in developing a material. Principle 1. A prerequisite for language acquisition is that the learners are exposed to rich, meaningful, and comprehensible language input and use. So the materials that the teachers could utilize are those materials that are rich in vocabularies and grammars. And the best materials that the teacher could use is, for example, are those literary pieces since they have different plots and stories, which is also rich in vocabularies and grammar. Just like Cupid and Psyche, teachers could use these materials to expose the learners into rich, meaningful, and comprehensible input in language use. So how to use this material? First, the teacher will divide the class into 5 groups and then introduce the story to them and instruct them to underline and familiar words in the story and make additions out of them. So after they make their predictions, each group will present their outputs in the class. So through this activity, the teachers could not only expose students into rich, meaningful, and comprehensible input in language use, but also to let the student test their knowledge about the story or about the topic. So in principle 2, in order for the learners to maximize their exposure in the language use, the learners should engage in both cognitively and effectively in the language experience. The teachers could use the story of Pyramus and Thisbe to expose the learners into the language use. So how to use these materials? First, the teacher will read the story to the students, and after the storytelling, the teacher will ask the students if Pyramus and Thisbe have a different ending, what will it be? Then the learners will write their own ending and present it in front of the class. And so in this activity, the learners maximize their exposure in the language in use and they feel attached to the language materials and they can feel some sort of connection and emotion while exposed to the language in use. So in principle 3, the teacher should make sure that the materials and tasks are enjoyable, relevant, and engaging as possible so that the learners exert a positive influence towards the language in use. The teacher should also make sure that the tasks are challenging and engaging so that it can create a positive effect on the materials. So for an activity, the teachers could use the story of Pygmalion and Galatea. So for this activity, the teacher will divide the class into 5 groups to participate in the storytelling. So each group will have their own copy of the story and they will read it for only 10 minutes. So after the 10 minutes pass, the teacher will collect all the copies from the groups and start the continuous storytelling to test their memory and understanding. So in principle 4, the teacher should make use of an activity that encourage the learners to visualize and reflect to their mental activity during a task. The teachers could use illustration as materials in order for the learners to visualize their answers and engage in a spoken text. So for this activity, the teacher will present a series of illustrations to the class and calls out a name of the student to express their ideas or thoughts about the picture. They will only given 2 minutes to prepare their answer and 3 minutes to express their ideas and share it in front of the class. So in Principle 5, the teachers could use textbook as learning materials. So for this activity, the class will be divided into 5 groups, and each group will have their own social issue that they will talk about during the roundtable discussion. And after their discussion, each group will present their output in front of the class. So from this activity, the learners can benefit from noticing the salient features of the language input, and it can also help the learners to make discoveries for themselves. In Principle 6, the teacher should design and output activities that can help the learners develop their ability to communicate fluently, accurately, appropriately, and effectively. So for this activity, the teachers could use news report articles as material. So how to implement this activity? So first, the teacher will divide the class into 2 groups to participate for a debate. Then the teacher will introduce the debate topic, and each group will be assigned for the positive and the negative argument. And each group will be given 20 minutes to prepare. And after that, they will express their claims and counterclaims about the said topic. And that ends our vlog. So what are your experiences with language learning materials? Share your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos about language learning and materials development. See you next time!